Hey, how are you? In this video, I'm going to talk about cold calling, how I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars in sales with cold calling and outbound calls using these strategies and tips that you can use as well that will really help you get ahead and crush it when it comes to cold calling and not make the same mistakes as I did. These are really common questions, so I'm just going to go straight into them and give you my best tips when it comes to cold calling. So question number one, what do you not say when doing a cold call? When it comes to cold calling, you want to just have a clean, straight to the point script that has favorable wording, and at the same time, cold calling is less about the words you're saying, it's more about the tone, the tonality and the way you say things, the pace that you say the words. If you're rushing through and trying to say things really fast and your energy is way up here versus, hello sir, this is Chris, I'm calling from Adelphia Insurance. It's a little bit slower, you're controlling the pace. It's about how you say it, it's not about what you say. So there's not really anything you want to really avoid saying. Obviously don't shoot yourself in the foot, but it's more about how you say it. Question number two, is cold calling illegal? Cold calling is not illegal, especially when it comes to business cold outreach. There's a lot less strict rules when it comes to business cold calling. When it comes business to customer, B2C, it is a little more regulated, and you need to make sure that the people that you are calling are not on do not call lists, and you get these leads from sourced places that these customers are opted in. So be very careful. Some of those can be illegal. How do cold calls work? So a cold call is simply you outbound calling somebody who is interested, has shown any level of interest, or maybe you're just hunting, trying to get their client, get that client as a customer by just calling them. You reach out to them, introduce yourself, tell them who you are, why you're calling, and what you can do for them. And like I said, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. Obviously, have a clean script, tell them who you are, what you can do, and how you can bring them some value, and ask them to move forward with you in the cold call. Question number four, is cold calling a hard job? To be quite honest here, cold calling is a very difficult job. Not everybody is built for it. There are certain people that just have it come natural to them, but it is something you can learn. So don't, let yourself down easy, telling yourself that you can't do cold calling. When I first started, sucked at cold calling. I was terrible at it. I was making mistakes. My tonality was terrible. The pace of my conversations were bad. I was nervous, my voice was crackly, I would stumble, I was stuttering. I didn't know what to say, how to say it, because I had no experience. So cold calling is a very hard job, but the more you do it, the more you become comfortable with it, and the better you get at it. So definitely worth it. And also, sales is the highest paid job in any industry. So you can make an unlimited amount of money in sales, so it's a great skill to have, and definitely recommend learning and getting good at cold calling. How do you talk in cold calling is another very common question. The tonality and the pace of the cold call is really important. So the first 5 seconds of a cold call will make or break the rest of the conversation. It is extremely important to do two things: sound sharp as a tack and enthusiastic. So have an upbeat, enthusiastic tone, and also sound like a professional. If you can knock those two things when you first talk to them in the first 5 seconds, that will set you up for the remainder of the conversation. In the first 5 seconds, if you sound weak, like, hi, is this Jerry's Plumbing? Jerry's Plumbing is probably not going to give you a shot. But if you're like, hey, is this Jerry's Plumbing? Oh, hey, Jerry's Plumbing, this is Chris. I'm calling from Adelphia Insurance here in Torrance, right? So I'm my door is open. He's like, oh yeah, Chris? Oh yeah, what can I do for you? Now we're actually talking. I'm like, hey Jerry, yeah, my name is Chris. I'm an insurance broker just down the street, and we specialize in plumbing companies and wanted to see if we could possibly help you run a quote and save you some money. Make sure you're not overpaying on your insurance. Jerry, can I run you a quote? It just takes a minute. See, that's very different than like, oh, hey Jerry, my name is Chris. I'm just wanted to see if I could run you a quote on your insurance. So if somebody calls me like that, I'm most likely going to hang up. So it is very important that you sound sharp as a tack, enthusiastic, and also you sound like a professional and know exactly what you're talking about. Obviously that comes with time and knowledge and experience, so you need to know and get good at what you do so that you can drop bits of knowledge. People can sense when you're an expert and you know what you're talking about, especially when you're bringing up terms that they're familiar with in that industry, like insurance. Insurance is very, very wide industry, so there's a lot to know. And when you start dropping stuff like X mods or rate increases or coverages or limits or deductibles, and you start talking about these things that are only insurance agents really are experts at, you start to get people's attention and they trust you as an expert. The next question is, why do people hate cold callers? That's a great question. I don't understand why people hate cold callers. The reason why people hate cold callers is because 9 out of 10 cold callers are terrible at what they do. When they call you, they're stuttering, their tone is all wrong, they don't sound friendly, they don't sound positive, they sound like they hate their jobs. So anybody who calls in that sounds like they hate their jobs, I'm probably gonna hate their job with them. So why do people hate cold callers? Because the person calling probably hates their own job. So you could be that 1 out of 10 person out of the cold callers that loves what they do and is really good at what you do. And when you're good at what you do, it brings just more satisfaction. So learn the ropes, learn how to get good at cold calling, sound sharp as a tack, enthusiastic, and sound like an expert and a professional at what you're doing. And people will start to listen to you, and they will not hang up on you nearly as much as they do when you sound depressed, sad, extremely unenthusiastic about the call. And so those are my first kind of tips here for cold calling. I really hope they do help you and answer some questions for you. Cold calling is a tough job, but it is extremely rewarding the better you get at it, and just keep building and getting better every single time. Hopefully that brought some value to you. If it did, give us a like, please subscribe. Really appreciate it if you do those things. It helps me reach more insurance agents. Also, you can check me out on Instagram, Chris the Insurance Guy, and also chriscostantini.com, where I do some consulting for agents, especially new agents that are kind of trying to get going. If you're looking for a job, cold calling, we are always hiring new people and good people, so hit me up if you're looking for a job as well. That's all I got. We will see you at the top. See you soon. Peace.